Some sports are inherently dangerous. Athletes who compete in these sports understand the risks that come with their choice. Yet they compete anyway. Have you ever wondered why people would risk life and limb for a sport? This is one athlete's story.
So of course, being a kid, you wanted, it was a new toy. There wasn't too many snowmobiles that were around that people could afford to buy. And I was just edging that they would ask if I can go for a ride with them or land it up. They gave it to me and they showed me how to operate it, and then I took it for a ride around the yard. In the fall of 1968, I was hired on by the Polaris factory that was in Boulder. And I worked until the spring of '69, and then I got laid off. But when I was working in the plant there, they had me going through the assembly lines and other places, and I always was fascinated by the guys that are doing the final tune-ups on the sleds that are going out in the crate. And I wanted to get on that line. I used to take snowmobiles apart, put them together, lightweight them, get them ready for the motors. I did porting, and I attempted to build pipes and try to get the powertrain all set. And then you take it to the track, and mostly it was drag racing at that time, where I learned a lot of the tuning with the clutching and the carburetions and such. Back in the day, we never had internet as it is now. So when you took an engine apart or a clutch or something, you examined it and you had to do your own thinking, because there was no one around to give you any information on training of that part. Most of it was always done inside your brain. I needed to feel the power of the engine. I needed to feel what that sled's going to do, and then I could make my tuning more adjustable that way. So that's for someone else to get on there and they give you the wrong information if they've sat in the sled. So that's where it took me into from drags into ovals and learning another part of the racing aspect with sleds. In order to do that, you got to be hands-on. You got to do it yourself. You have to make sure that you yourself are prepared physically and mentally. So it's not that you can just work all day in a shop and then you get the sled out and then you go running. You'll find out very soon, if you sat on an oval sled and you do a few laps, you are done. You have to get one-on-one on the machine. So you have to know what the machine is going to do. It does its twitching and that on the track. You have to learn to accept what the sled's doing. Maybe you can correct it, or maybe that's just what the character of the sled it does. Every time I go racing, I'm just filled with nerves. I hardly sleep the whole entire racing weekend, and even days before you're prepping and getting stuff ready. But when you get on the track, your pit crew is there to help me out, and then I basically, my job is to drive the sled now. Your back might be hurting, you might have a sore elbow or something like that, but when you come up to the flag and you're focused at the flag man, all those injuries, they just disappear. You're just focused on hitting that throttle and then going down the track. And then everything else disappears again because you got to be focused on driving on the track. I'm the one that makes the decision on the sled. So the last decision is made is mine. So if I goof up on the tuning on it, that's my responsibility. And I got to take the loss if I goofed up. And you'll know when you get out in the track that it worked or it didn't work, the change that you made. racing the sleds at a track on a let's say a particular day, it changes every time you go out on your heats. So you constantly have to be monitoring your sled to make sure that everything is running at peak performance so that you can do well on the track. Many years ago, every time that I do win, it is an honor. Nowadays, when I'm racing against in my classes, these are really fast sleds, and to be at least coming third is an honor itself. I'm not a loser, so I just cope with it. Like I lost. Somebody's got to win, and then you figure out what you did wrong or what happened with the sled or something broke. You just carry on. You got to keep on driving yourself. If you think that, okay, that's it, the sled's not performing well, there's something you didn't do right, or something happened internally with the engine or something. My throwing part is actually building the sleds, tuning them, and running them against my competition. Whether I win or lose, that's fine. I always like to be, you always like to win, but everybody can't win.
Okay, this side, that side, don't matter. Years of experience that he's had. It's an honor to race with him, and the fact that he's able to pass his knowledge on from past years of racing. He's done it for probably 35 plus years. He's been around to a lot of the racetracks, all in Canada, also in the US. It comes like second nature when you want to work on the sleds. You know if you have to make an adjustment, how to tune the sled for each day and the type of racetrack and the conditions. You know what to do already. You have that knowledge behind you. Yeah, he's calm, cool, relaxed, and never hot-headed. We always have our discussions in between which is best and which way to go. But he doesn't give you all the knowledge, he makes you work for it. He'll give you a little bit and make you chase the carrot at the end of the stick kind of thing. He wants you to work for it to see if you got drive and determination to continue on and pursue the sport. You always know that he's very close by, and if he's not close by, he's in front of you and you're eating snow dust. Even at his age, he's very competitive, and you have to be a strong driver if you think you're gonna just be able to hop in front of him and get away and take the checkered flag, because I've raced 10-lap feature races with him, and you think you're doing quite well because you're in first or second, and lap 7, here comes Mr. Norm, he comes past you. Say thank you to him. Number one thing that I would like to see him do is actually win the Vintage Super Mod Cup. He's been close so many times before. It's a very tough race to win. I believe it took me about 13 years to actually win that race. So for him to go out and succeed in that would be, if I could hand that down to him or get his sled set up the proper way so that he can do that, that would be a very good hats off and a thank you to him.
make sure that we're all safe. Everything is in line. The machines are all checked out. Every nut and bolt is tightened, and everything is ready to run to get onto the track. And you have to have respect for your crew, that they would be making sure that everything is followed through on that. And that's why you have to have trust with these guys. Well, hello there. Welcome to my museum. Every time I go to a racetrack, it doesn't matter where it is, your hometown or in the States or wherever, it's a new adventure. I've got all these sleds that are, some of them restored, and they're in buildings here and wherever, so I decided to add on to this building here and make it into my place. So this is my man pit. So we got a relic here. It's a 1970 that I raced there for many years. The sled did drag racing at 128 miles an hour. I did race all these sleds that are here, all the Articats. These are ones in a line right up to the Merc. And these three are just stalkers. This sled on snow track, on 500 feet, did over 100 miles an hour. It's unbelievable power that when you hit that throttle. Oh, there's got to be at least 20. They're over the place. They're underneath trailers and in barns, and I just didn't have room for these to be covered, so they're out there. Yeah, the back graveyard, that's it's kind of cool to see. Sleds piled up, and that's what I started with at the time. This is where it all started for me. 1967 Skidoo. We used to have, at the time, was snow ovals instead of the ice. That it was easier to make, I guess, at that time. But this is not the sled, but this is the sled that the year that I would start racing in '67. I like to give back information that I know. It took me many, many years to gather up what I know, and it doesn't help to keep it inside yourself. If you can't pass it on to someone else, I think that's just not right. I do give information out, but I don't give it all out, if you understand what I'm saying. Well, I have to give a lot of thanks to my wife, because she knows I spend mega hours in the shop and mega bucks in this sport. It's very costly. So I have to really thank her for that. Plus my pit crew guys. Kody Wojcik, he's one of the best mechanics that I know that could help me with. I got trust in him, and you need that. I'm really happy that there's the kids from 6 to 10 that are starting on the mini track, and as they call it, then they move over to the big track. That is amazing. That at least there's a younger generation that's coming behind, that's filling up the spot. To see that, that's really nice. and I just keep on going. I never thought about quitting or when am I going to stop racing. It's still in me. Like when you finish the race for the end of the year, before the year is over, you're already thinking about next year, or you're building something else in your mind to get going.